All right, it's that time. Actually, here, let me do this. Get the clock rolling. So it is another go round of SOT for you and me. And we're at T minus 10 days. So we got some stuff to get into here that has to do with clubs and national teams and things like that. So we do have, and it is varied. It is a couple of different teams that we'll have information on. Nashville, Canada, Paraguay, South Africa. Note from Bloomberg about the Azteca, or whatever they're going to call it. Costa Rica. And then we do have some other things that are under normal purview. Update from Paul Quinn and the ESK.org and his pursuit of what's going on involving Michelle Kang and John Texter and Aries and all of those relationships. Paul is off and running again. Daily Record has some notes on Celtic, and Southampton has come to the fore. So that is that's kind of where we are today. And Four Card has posted his score in the Apertura. So I need everybody else's score, and we'll go over the matches in hour number 2, and we'll lay it all out. So here's the deal. SOT is this week and next week. Next week is the last one until we're on the other side of the World Cup. That does not mean, however, that we're going to stop picks of the week. For those of you that come circling in and kind of keeping an eye on stuff. So hang on just a second. I'm trying to send a quick note to someone about something. I know it's really in depth. So nothing like getting texted like right as the show starts. All right. So here's the deal. So once again, SOT this week, next week. Then SOT takes a break for the World Cup. It'll come back after the World Cup, and maybe we'll have slept some by then. So the Medio is going to start next week because obviously, it would have to, because next week gets us into the World Cup categories. So next week will be the start of the Medio, and then that's going to be specifically involving World Cup. Medio ends at the end of the World Cup. And then for the last one, it's probably going to be something akin to championship game stuff and third place match stuff. And then Clausura starts when we come back in after the World Cup. There will be some games, USL Championship and MLS Next Pro and all that kind of stuff. That's going to be rolling. So we're going to have Apertura, Medio, Clausura. But Clausura is not going to start officially with anything outside of World Cup until World Cup is over. So Medio is World Cup only. Then Clausura starts after the World Cup. That goes until MLS Cup final. Then take a break for Christmas, come back in the sprint season, and then we'll start all over again in 27. So that's the rundown. That's how it is. Evening OG. Let me see if I can actually see what you're writing this time. I can. Okay. All right. Good deal. So, yeah, I need to know what it's going to look like. And so in hour number 2, we're going to go over last week, everything from Armenia to Phoenix and Sacramento, which I know I lost. So we'll go over all of it together. and we'll break it down one more time. So, once again, we've got all of these things to kind of get into, and what we'll do is we'll start with the cup dates and get you up and running for that. So here's what we know about most of the clubs that are in the World Cup have posted their rosters, and that kind of came out today. And so that's the breakdown of what it's going to look like. So it is news out of Nashville SC, and that came out this morning. And you end up with one of your players actually being announced for a World Cup squad. Ahmed Kassem, officially selected to Iraq's World Cup squad. So very, very cool moment for Ahmed Kassem and for Nashville SC. Official wording from them: represented Sweden as a youth, suiting up for Iraq when they make their first World Cup appearance since 1986. Acquired by Nashville from IF Elfsborg in Sweden in February of 25, 53 matches, 5+2. First matchup for Iraq is going to be on the 16th, 6 o'clock Eastern time in Foxborough. Then on the 22nd, it is France at the link. And then on the 26th in Toronto against Senegal. That's the group stage in Group I for Ahmed Kassem and Iraq. So that went down today as well. Also, Paraguay announced their national team today. No real surprises from our perspective. So Paraguay MNT. So let's see if we go Paraguay. Well, let's go Paraguay squad. Just so, and two names that are familiar are a part of it. Once again, no real surprise. Miguel Almiron is one of the delanteros to go with Julio Enciso, Isidro Pita, Gabriel Avalos, Alex Arce, and Antonio Sanabria. Mediocampistas: Diego Gomez from Brighton, Brian Ojeda from the Purple Team, Damian Bobadilla from Sao Paulo, Andres Cubas from Vancouver, Alejandro Romero Gomara from Al Ain, Mauricio Prado from Palmeiras, Ramon Sosa from Palmeiras, Gustavo Caballero from Portsmouth, and Matias Galarza with Atlanta United. Defensores: evening, D. Graham. Gustavo Gomez from Palmeiras, Alderete from Sunderland, Juan Jose Caceres from Dinamo Moscow, Jose Canale from Lanús, Junior Alonso from Mineiro, Fabian Balbuena from Grêmio, Alejandro Maidana from Tijeras, Gustavo Velasquez, Cerro Porteño, arqueros and keepers, Orlando Gil from San Lorenzo, Roberto Fernandez, the 38-year-old from Cerro Porteño, and Gaston Oliveira from Olimpia. So Paraguay's squad has been named, and that is officially official. No real shocks in all of that. Also, Haiti Scotland World Cup tickets have dropped to $400 each. Keep an eye out on that. And the UK is actually banned over 2,300 troublesome fans, they say. Troublesome fans have been banned. We'll get into that in a second. We'll get into it in a second. So with those two, we have that. And we've also had to kind of follow along in the saga of the South African team, the Bafana Bafana. And they finally did make it to the airport. And we had it announced this morning as we were looking at the story from the country sports minister, Gayton McKenzie, on social media, on the media that is social. And I do follow Minister McKinney on the 280 character app. And his breakdown of everything is as follows. You have the Football Association apologizing to the nation for unexpected travel delays, would like to thank the Department of International Relations and Cooperation for their assistance, as well as the U.S. Consulate in Johannesburg, who went beyond their call of duty over the weekend to ensure the visas were issued for all of our players to travel. So it was a, how do we phrase this? It was an adventure for South Africa. And you had you had the Minister of Sport raising a stink of the highest order. So the departure was today. Emergency committee meeting held last night local time. Number of issues around the South African senior men's national team delayed travel plans to Mexico discussed by the members. Revealed in the meeting that the only outstanding visas are for 4 members of the camp, and the SAFA was working closely with the relevant authorities to strengthen operational coordination. SAFA can reveal a 3-member organizing committee had been established to manage the team's administrative affairs. It was the head of delegation, it was the SAFA chairperson of the finance committee, and then the team manager. They were going to work together in the future, ensuring any logistical or administrative matters that may arise during the global tournament are dealt with expeditiously. From the SAFA, while the visa delays resulted in the team losing a valuable day in its travel and preparation schedule, SAFA is satisfied that the matter has now been substantially resolved and that the team's World Cup plans remain firmly on course. SAFA apologizes to the nation, and we read that particular section. Once again, they lead off. Their matchup, once again, is batting leadoff in this tournament. So Minister McKenzie was very, very busy and made a point not to blame the U.S. Embassy in Johannesburg. Said this about 1 o'clock this afternoon, our time. They even worked on a Sunday for the first time ever, been only too helpful, bending over backwards. Fault is entirely on our side. Making statements against the U.S. staffers is not helping the situation for future applications. And so kind of working backward, the players had received their visas. It was an assistant coach, a team doctor, the head of security, and an analyst. That was what it was. Those were the issues. Those were figured out, and now Bafana heading this way. And it was an interesting photo that you actually saw the men's team and the ladies' team, men's team and the women's team, in the airport departing for their friendlies all at the same time. So it was kind of funny when you saw both national teams in the same airport trying to get out of Dodge so they could go to their respective tournaments and challenges in the window. So that is your South Africa update. But we mentioned where you had, let me see if I can get this right, Andrea Navarro R. We mentioned the Azteca, and it was an interesting read to find out that from Bloomberg, and once again, this is from, I thought I'd already signed in on this. Come on, people. I'm not accessing Bloomberg. I'm not paying like $9 gazillion to get into Bloomberg, and I'm not paying it. Not happening. So, no, and maybe later. Not happening. So it was an interesting read for those of you who can get into Bloomberg. I didn't want to find out about the airport. It was about the stadium in and of itself. And the stadium, the Azteca, when it was built / renovated, you had, I need mentions. I need the Bloomberg mention is what I need. I don't need the, where is it here? So it's like, I thought I had it, and then of course I didn't. The Azteca Stadium. All right, so let's see if I can find. Okay, so World Cup suites in Mexico City. World Cup suites in Mexico City are going for up to $1.6 million. Andrea Navarro with the story. So there's apparently an underground market, according to Andrea Navarro, to get these suites. A 27-seat suite, say that 10 times fast. 27-seat suite. One of the best views of the pitch. 27 million pesos for all 5 matches being played at Banorte, according to a post seen by Bloomberg. So if you divide by 5, that's 320,000. Is that 50? Yeah, 340,000. 5 into 1.6. So 1.5, 10, 2. I had it right the first time. So $320,000 a match for a 27-seat suite. So if we do math, evening Hutch, evening D. Graham, I did not D. Graham. I will check into that in a second. Let's get through all of the. I'll get through the World Cup-y stuff. We'll get through all the World Cup dates and we'll look at it. Okay, so calculator. So 27 seats at. And do I have a calculator in my desktop here? I got a calendar. I have to do it the old-fashioned way. Okay, so I got to grab my phone. All right, so we're going to do some math here real quick. So let's divide, shall we? Calculator. There we go. Okay, so $320,000 a match at Banorte to see a match in a 27-seat suite. So $320,000 pesos. Well, fine. $320,000 divided by 27 seats. So that gets you to $11,851.85 per seat. So divide that by 90 minutes. That's $131.69 a minute of soccer action. That doesn't include going in early or leaving late or whatever. But for every minute of soccer at the Banorte, it is going to cost that individual $131.69 a minute of soccer action for each of the 5 minutes, or for each of the 5 matches that are at Banorte in Mexico for the tournament. 15-person suites asking for $7.5 million for all 5. All in the same place, once again, hand of God. So if you got that kind of money, you got that kind of coin, and you want to go to Azteca, you can certainly do that. Mexico City Stadium, only one of 16 venues. Tickets are sold on official platforms. The Mexico City deals are available only via WhatsApp. And this is how a quirk into the stadium was built. Ran into financial problems. The original owner, El Tigre, Emilio Azcárraga, sold boxes to some of the richest families to fund the rest of the construction. In return, the families got 99-year ownership contracts. So basically, private property. So, I mean, it's not even it's kind of a PSL, but it's, but you get the whole thing. So a 99-year ownership deal to get one of those suites at the Azteca. And now on WhatsApp, you can apparently check Mexico City deals to get into the suites for the tournament coming up here in 10 days. First match in 10 days, and it's going to be at Azteca. Negotiations between FIFA and the box owners, according to Navarro, took place last year, considering that FIFA would be missing out on potential ticket sales for more than 16,000 of the 87,000 seats in the stadium. That also includes the plateas, the other preferential seats. To make FIFA whole, Olamani SAB, the company that owns the stadium, had to shell out $62.4 million, and the secondary sales were banned. So it's like, here's $62 million. Leave the suites alone. WhatsApp and Facebook groups now have ads for the suites. Brokers are writing up contracts between the box owners and fans who want to shell out the money. Word of the underground market reached FIFA and Olamani on May the 11th. They sent out notices to box owners warning them if any ticket found is to be a transfer or a sale that goes against the rules, it can be canceled. A few days later, a couple of box owners headed by Roberto Ruano said a federal judge had granted them precautionary measures which allows them to sell or rent out their boxes for the tournament. Ruano, quote, "We're not going to allow an international organization to overstep our own laws and contracts," end quote. He says he represents nearly half of all the seats in boxes and plateas. Plenty of people are renting out their boxes, but it's being done under the table because of FIFA's trick-filled rule book. An Olamani spokesperson said neither the company nor the stadium had received or seen a copy or notification from the judge who granted the measures. said he doubted the ruling even exists. Stadium has had a relationship with the box owners for over 60 years. Contract with FIFA is what they'll abide by when the tournament starts. Spokesperson said for the stadium, all tickets will be electronic. We'll spot when the registration doesn't line up with the owners' names, and we'll investigate further. FIFA did not reply to a request for comment by Bloomberg. Bloomberg is the word we're looking for. One broker, anonymous, said the boxes are private property, and as a result, FIFA can't have much control. Asked whether he was aware reselling boxes isn't allowed. He said he was, adding neither are drugs. That broker has 4 boxes in his portfolio, says the owners want to rent out the boxes for all 5 games to a single buyer, which would make logistics easier, but the price is so high they haven't really sold yet. Well, yeah, it's $320,000 a game. Broker explained that even while the sticker prices are astronomical, the cost of a ticket per person per game is in line with market prices. We just did the math on that. We're prescient. We didn't even read the article. $11,500 a ticket per game, including inauguration. Tickets for the final in the Meadowlands selling for more than $10,000. So you get your seat in the box for all 5 matches. Broker says there's still some time before the inaugural match. Owners might decide to sell their seats on a per-game basis, lowering the total cost. Knows of at least one sale an acquaintance of his brokered. 20-seat box, 8.5 million pesos for all 5 games. Broker's fee was 500,000 pesos. So doing the math there, 8.5 million pesos. So if we go backward here, so 8.5 million pesos is... Let's see. So 8.5 million pesos is about a third. So yeah, it's like a little over 500,000. So 100,000 a match, 500,000 for the full run. Mexico City from now FIFA and Olamani have prohibited the box owners from stocking their own food and drink or bringing in any from regular selling points across the stadium. That rule won't apply, obviously, once the World Cup is over. So World Cup's going to get you somehow. So they're going to nab you on the food and drink. You've got to pay for the catering. Box owners have to purchase hospitality packages direct from FIFA. The premium package, chips, chicken wings, cheese table, salads, hamburger sandwiches, premium alcohol and soda, $75,000 for 12 people for all 5 games. Cheapest package is food and water, but no alcohol, and that's $35,400 for 12 people. And if you sell out your 27, then you're basically paying twice that, so you're talking about $71,000. Price is adjusted on a per-seat basis. Commissioned by Azteca in 1962, designed by Pedro Ramirez Vasquez. Azteca's Grupo Televisa SAB spun off Olamani in 1924 as a holding of the stadium, thinking like an owner. Club America team and other business units like casinos, renovation, increased seating, added new locker rooms, bathrooms, and dining areas. So that is the latest on the Azteca, where if you're a part of that 99-year ownership, you're going to WhatsApp and Facebook to possibly sell your suite for the 5 matches that are there for $1.6 million, $320,000 a match. And they're wondering if they can get it. It will be interesting to find out if they do. $320,000 for a 27-seat suite. Independiente and Ezequiel Barco. Okay, so let me check this, D-Gram. Hang on just a second. So I do have one note from Costa Rica before we mosey on. So hang on just a second. Barco, Ezequiel Barco. Not the other Barco that is heading to Chelsea from Strasbourg. Ezequiel Barco. Teise. Ooh, okay. Aha. Okay, so it is from Teise. Our friends at Teise. So Independiente seems to be chasing after Ezequiel Barco. The winger currently plays for Spartak Moscow. Key piece of theirs is 73 matches, 22 and 18. And he was part of the team that was recently crowned champs of the Russian Cup. But for family reasons, he wants to return to Argentina and in Avellaneda. they are looking to bring him back. January, he let the Rojos board know his intentions, and now the decision, according to TSA, seems even firmer. The plan on the table to make the return happen is a 12-month loan. Forward would offer Spartak to extend his current contract, which expires at the end of the fiscal year in 27, in exchange for letting him to be loaned to Independiente for a season. Once the loan ends, goes back to Russia with the renewal. And if it goes through, then Independiente would have to cover the player's full salary. Spartak paid 16 million euro for the forward in 2024. So that's what you're kind of looking at monetarily. Starting this past New Year's Day, he gets the power to negotiate the pre-contract with any team and then leave as a free agent from a month from now, giving him leverage in the equation. So, Independiente formal offer, according to Cesar Luis Merlo, to bring Ezequiel Barco back, loan with an option to buy 50% of the pass, which belongs to Spartak Moscow, and adding Teise and Cesar Luis Merlo together, looks like Barco might be heading back to Independiente if things work out well. 12-month loan without a charge, 50% of the pass going into the final year of his deal. So keep an eye on that one, that he might be working his way back. And so literally it is everybody. It is all the heavy hitters. It is all the heavy hitters that are locking into this. Herman Garcia Grova. It is Cesar Luis Merlo. It is Teise. It is, bing, bing, bing. They're all together. Same information across the board, 3 separate sources. 12-month loan without a charge, 50% of the pass purchase option, final year of his deal at Spartak Moscow. So all 3 of them are in line in the same direction. And it looks like Barco might be heading back to Independiente. Speaking of heading away, and this qualifies technically, I guess, as both soccer down here and soccer over there. Parma has officially activated the 4 million euro buy option clause to sign Benja Cremaschi on a permanent 3 years on the deal. So that is probably the first stage in bringing Casemiro to Messi and Friends, because it's a cash deal that helps you out with your GAM. And so you can add that to the stacks. So you keep an eye on that. And so Cremaschi being bought, remember, this is not like a trade or a loan or anything, activating a purchase option activated by Parma for Cremaschi. That money, or 50% of that money, heads into GAM, I believe. I think that's how this works. I think it's 50%. So D. Graham with the heads up on Barco gave us a chance to talk about Cremaschi, which gives us a chance to talk about Casemiro, possibly working his way into probably the Messi and Friends roster plans. So keeping an eye on Benja Cremaschi. Looks like he is staying on that side of the pond because it is a purchase. As of an hour ago, Carlos Queiroz has named the Ghanaian squad for the 26 World Cup on the 17th in Panama against Panama in Toronto, England in Boston at Gillette on the 23rd, Croatia in Philly on the 27th. And so you now have all the names in place for the Black Stars of Ghana. I'll give you the names here quickly. Let me shuttle through the video, which is very, very nicely done. So you have all of them going through in singular form, and then you have the full screens. Okay, so they gave the defenders their own pages and the keepers. Okay, so keepers, Asare Atizigi and Joseph Anang. Your defenders, Baba Abdul Rahman, Gideon Mensah, Marvin Sanaya, Ali Seydu, Abdul Mumin, Jerome Opoku, Jonas Ajite, took me a second, Kojo Pong-Pepra, Derek Lucasen. Then as they realized, oh, crap, we've only got 30 seconds left in the video, let's just put them all on pages. Midfielders, Alicia Owusu, Thomas Partey, Quasi Sibo, Augustine Boakye, Caleb Yarinki, Abdul Fattahu Isahaku. So Isahaku is in as a midfield as well as Partey. Then your forward, your folks up top, it is Sulemana, Bansuba'a, Thomas Asante, Prince Kwabena Adu, Nuama, Antoine Semenyo, Iñaki Williams, Jordan Ayew. So up front, Sulemana, Semenyo, Iñaki Williams, Jordan Ayew. And so the squad has been named for the Black Stars as they get ready for their run in the World Cup. So keep an eye out on all of that. Now, let's see. Checking the rundown for tonight. We're going to get into this coming up here in a second, previewing Canada and Uzbekistan. Uzbekistan has put out their starting 11. Let me get to the Warren Madrigal news in Costa Rica really quickly. This is where I was going before I got sidetracked, and I know that shocks you that I got sidetracked on something. So Warren Madrigal. So the Warren Madrigal news for Costa Rica, Kevin Jimenez down in Costa Rica. As of noon, so of course after we went off the air with the morning show, Warren Madrigal left for Nashville to return to his club's training sessions. Nashville SC contacted the Federation to inquire about the reason for his departure. According to Federation sources, now he's returning to the United States to rejoin his club. So going back to the 26th, Kevin Jimenez reported Madrigal separated from La Salle for changing rooms without permission. That's what Batista communicated to him, according to sources. So that was part of it. But then according to Ferlin Fuentes, several La Salle players involved in an altercation in San Pedro where Alejandro Braun's vehicle ended up with bullet impacts. That's the translation. So that was why the dismissal. And Warren Madrigal now is apparently heading back to Nashville. And you wonder, and Christian Bolaños from Fox Costa Rica is wondering if Madrigal's MLS contract could be put in jeopardy by the acts of indiscipline. So that was wondered as well. So Kenneth Vargas and Warren Madrigal out of the national team. They reiterated at the time that discipline and respect for the rules are fundamental pillars in all our national teams. Warren Madrigal heading back now to Nashville to train with Nashville SC. And teammates were involved, and they were all disassociated from the national team after that happened. So that's your Warren Madrigal news. Now, tonight, Uzbekistan and Canada. Uzbekistan has announced their starting 11. And here is the starting 11, courtesy of the Fed its own self. Nematov in net. Husanov, Safiev, Ashurmatov, Shukurov, Komrobikov, Uranov, Nasrullayev. Shomurodov is wearing the captain's armband, Abdullayev and Ganiev, with Fabio Cannavaro as obviously the man in charge. So let's take a peek and see, because this match is coming up in about 26 minutes. And we'll keep an eye on it while we're doing picks of the week. And like I said, our main goal tonight is to be out by 10 o'clock because we need you to go over to 92.9 The Game, the Odyssey app, and the YouTube channel, and keep an eye out for Atlanta soccer tonight, because this is day one of probably 60 where you're going to have Atlanta soccer tonight in a row. And it's a multi-screen. It is a three-dimensional experience where 92.9 The Game is involved. The YouTube channel is involved. Stoppage time on the YouTube channel is there. Goes to Off the Woodwork in the podcast section. Odyssey app as well. So it is all there in three dimensions with Atlanta soccer tonight and stoppage time. Tonight, first hour is on 92.9 The Game. It's all on the YouTube channel the entire time. So our goal is to be out by 10 o'clock, a little beforehand, so that way you can mosey over to 92.9 The Game. Conversation ends with us, picks up with Jason at 10 o'clock. But 9 o'clock in Edmonton, it is the Uzbek-Canada match, and that is match 1 of 2 in Canada's send-off series. We'll get to Canada coming up here in a second. Evening, David. So Nematov is in net. Back line of your 3-4-3 or whatever you want to call it. Saifiev, Husanov, who's wearing the captain's armband, and Ashurmatov. Midfield, left to right, Nasralayev, Shukurov, Kamrobakov, and Abdullayev. 2 attacking midfielders, left to right, Uranov and Ganiev, and Shamuradov is your striker. For Canada, lineup is Crépeau in net, Jesse Marsh in a 4-3-3, Lorea, Bombito, Cornelius, and Alistair Johnston. Your midfield left to right, Tejan Buchanan, Stephen Eustachio, and Ismail Kone. Left to right, it is Liam Miller, Kyle Laren in the middle, and Jonathan David on the right. Subs for Jesse Marsh, Dane St. Clair, Owen Goodman, Luc de Fougerolles, obviously still keeping an eye on his injury and his rate of return. The issues at the back. Nico Sigurd, Joel Waterman, Alfie Jones, Jonathan Osorio, Priso, Schwanier, Ali Ahmed, Basong, Saliba, Promise David, Jaden Nelson, who is in now with the Flores injury, which is what we're going to get to, and Tani Oluwaseyi. Bench for Fabio Cannavaro, Yusupov, Ergashev, Urasov, Eshmuradov, Ulmasaliev, Amanov, Hamdamov, Jalolidinov, Iskandarov, Faizalayev, Masharipov, Gianov, Esanov, Moscovoy, and Sergeyev. Hustindin Alikulov is injured with an injury to his cruciate ligament, and so he is injured and will not participate tonight. So 3-4-2-1 or a 3-4-3 for Fabio Cannavaro, 4-3-3 for Jesse Marsh, and for Canada. Obviously, the big news for Four Card, the champ is here, as he is on the table and he's ready to let everybody know. And just so somebody in the Discord, and we start hour number 2, just someone in the Discord save the overall numbers just for tiebreakers, because you never know, I may change the rules at some point in the clausura. But anyway, obviously the news on Marcelo Flores is the big piece of news. Here was Jesse Marsh commenting on it and what it means not to have him now as a part of the picture going forward, courtesy of our friends at One Soccer.
Marcelo had an ACL rupture last night, so he will be out. I spoke with him last night after the match, and I spoke with him again about an hour ago. He just had gotten out of his scan. The good news is the ACL was the only problem in the knee and not meniscus and all the other issues that you can have that come along with that. But obviously, we're devastated for him. We all watched it last night, and we were all hoping for the best. And I have to also say, Marcelo had taken some criticism down in Mexico for transferring to be part of the Canadian national team. And to see the way that in an away stadium at Toluca, the way that his teammates, his opponents, the fans in the opponent's stadium, how everyone embraced him and showed empathy toward him, being in that culture in Mexico and have everybody support him in a very difficult time when everyone knew that his next move the next day was to come in to get ready for the World Cup. I think that says a lot about the community down there, and it says a lot about Marcelo himself. So we're obviously disappointed for him. All the guys had been asking about him all last night and all this morning. I was trying to give updates to the team on where things were at. We were all fearing that he would have something like this, because it obviously didn't look like a good injury, but our hearts are with him. He's in good spirits. He's already focused on, moving forward and getting himself healthy for the future. And I told him if he ever wanted to come and see us after he got a surgery and be around the team for parts of the World Cup when we're together, that he's more than welcome. So he loves the team. He said he would love to do that. And he said it is one of his favorite things to do is be with this team. So we're thinking about him. We're devastated for him.
Jesse Marsh on the Marcelo Flores injury, and Hutch, that is a question we will address in 20 minutes, because I'd firmly anticipate, I thought it was going to be one more week, unless Four Card's margin is so distant that he cannot be caught under any circumstance. Then Four Card, then the then the apertura is basically dormy, as they say in golf in Scotland. And it might be for seconds, thirds, and fourths and tiebreakers and things like that. We'll probably do one anyway. But I need the math, because if 4Card is claiming in championship, and I had planned on doing one more week, we'll get into that. But like I said, we'll get to that in 20 minutes. Now, Jesse Marsh was asked in this same press conference if there was going to be, who would step up in this opportunity for anyone to take over Marcelo Flores' place in the lineup. And so here was Marsh's response to that question, once again, courtesy of our friends Canada Soccer, One Soccer.
No, we haven't made that decision yet. We have time. So we're going to take a little time to just evaluate a few different things. But, we have some guys here with us. We have guys like Jebo and Jason that we let go. We also, we also have guys like Junior Hoylett that haven't been in camp, but that I've been in communication with. So we'll see. We're going to get through this match and kind of evaluate where things are at, and then make a decision probably in between the next two matches.
So that's the decision. He's keeping an eye on folks like Jason Russell Rowe, Junior Hoylett, and trying to figure out, okay, where do we go from here? So that is that's your update when it comes to Marcelo Flores. And now, once again, that's a big question. That is a big question for Jesse Marsh. First, you had issues at the back with your injuries, specifically having to do with folks like Lafougerol, et cetera. And so then you're trying to figure out, now what do we do? And so the thinking cap is now on for Jesse Marsh and for the Canadian men's national team as they work forward and try to figure out what they're going to do. Like I said, it started out as issues at the back, and now it is issues at the front in the attack. And so you're going, yeah, okay. So that's kind of where we are. That's just the one. That's the larger question in all of this. Now, what are you going to do? Now, what are you going to do? What are you going to do at the front, in addition to what you're going to do at the back? So that's the question that is going to be attached to Jesse Marsh going forward, and we'll see what happens when you're looking at Canada Soccer tonight. Canada, once again, 9:00 start. So in about 20 minutes or so in Edmonton, we'll start to kind of keep an eye on that match. It'll be kind of a pseudo first half watch along while we're doing picks of the week. So Hutch is saying 1,006 difference between first and second, 343 second and third, 1332 third and fourth, 4040 fourth and fifth. And so we probably need to, like I said, I'd planned on doing picks of the week because we're not there yet. We're not to the World Cup yet. So if there is a 1,006 difference between first and second, then it is up to the champ to figure out how he wants to play Final Jeopardy. So we'll keep an eye on Final Jeopardy and see what happens. Picks of the week coming up in about 15 minutes. We'll work our way through it. We're also going to keep our eye out on Canada and Uzbekistan as we go. But the questions for Jesse Marsh: Junior Hoylett, Jason Russell Rowe, choice D, choice C, none of the above, choice D, all the above. So we got to keep an eye out on that. All right, a couple of things that are outside the World Cup purview. So here's kind of where we're heading for a couple of stories that were off of the World Cup track. Southampton apparently had a written response to what happened when they got blown out of the playoff. So the WhatsApp messages have been revealed as Southampton once again comes through and they look at how word got around and how word trickled around and all those kinds of things. So get this. Okay, so this is from our friend Dale Johnson at the BBC. WhatsApp messages revealed how Southampton orchestrated the spying campaign. Junior members of the staff told Independent Disciplinary Commission how head coach Tonda Eckert placed them under, quote, extreme pressure, end quote, to carry out a task they were clearly uncomfortable with and felt was morally wrong. Exchanges are detailed in the written reasons of the league arbitration panel appointed to hear the appeal against being expelled from the championship playoffs, deducted 4 points next year. Saints pleaded guilty to charges of spying on Oxford United and Ipswich Town, then Middlesbrough, before the playoff semi. In the written reasons of the punishment, Southampton's conduct was described as a, quote, contrived and determined plan from the top down, which head coach Eckert had approved. WhatsApp messages revealed in the league arbitration panel's report show how the plan was orchestrated. Junior analysts sent to observe Oxford United training before the December fixture with Southampton sent a message to colleagues saying, quote, didn't really have an option, wasn't provided an opportunity to say no, I was an intern and was doing what I was told. When he sent details from that session back to his boss, received a WhatsApp reading, you legend, manager loved it, in quotation marks. Upon being asked to carry out a second spying mission on Ipswich, he expressed concern but was told that, quote, the boss is adamant that someone needs to go. Upon being caught, another analyst at the club sent a message to his colleague saying, quote, I said all along I was never happy about it at all and it wasn't right, but no one listened to me, end quote. The document goes on to explain how the intern was caught by staff at Middlesbrough as he spied on the training session, reveals how he discovered Southampton had been accused of spying while he was still on a train coming back from Middlesbrough. Junior analyst intern sent to Oxford's training ground for 2 days before they met Boxing Day. Opponents had changed manager, sacking Gary Rowett. Tonda Eckert wanted to know the formation they were going to play under Craig Short. Junior analyst said, once again, didn't have the option, was an intern doing what I was told. Added another analyst lost their job earlier in the year, added pressure to perform tasks they might be uncomfortable with. Interns sent updates, photos, and videos to the coaching staff. From his observation, he knew Oxford were going to play with a back four, not a back five. Predicted Oxford lineup prepared on the basis of observations made by the junior analyst intern. Same predicted team sheet sent to Tonda Eckert, which included a section entitled Key Messages, which appeared to be gleaned from the junior analyst intern observations. Junior analyst then had a telephone conversation with Tonda Eckert to discuss what he'd seen. And once again, this is from Dale Johnson at the BBC. During his evidence, Eckert denied viewing the footage and insisted the information had no impact on the match preparation. Well, you lost. WhatsApp message sent from an analyst to the junior analyst intern read, quote, try to make out as much as you can, please, you legend. Manager loved it. Southampton met Ipswich in the penultimate match of the season, both going for second. Ipswich trained at Eastleigh Football Club. One of the first team coaches told another analyst, Eckert said at an earlier match preparation meeting that, quote, someone should go to Eastleigh to look at Ipswich, end quote. Assistant coach approached the junior analyst intern about traveling to Eastleigh, quote, as the boss is adamant that someone needs to go. Junior analyst intern felt uncomfortable doing this and said no. Another analyst said in his evidence he grouped himself with the younger members of the analysis team who were being pressurized. I think they were just being pressured. If they were being pressurized, then that would be getting blown out of the airlock. And made a trip to observe the training session. Someone present at the Eastleigh session that day video recorded the whole session and sent to Southampton. From that footage, Southampton were able to predict the exact Ipswich team for the fixture. Eckert claimed he understood someone from Eastleigh had sent CCTV footage of the Ipswich training session to someone at Southampton, the existence of which Eckert knew only a couple hours before kickoff. Southampton and Middlesbrough, first leg of the playoff semifinals on the 9th of May. Wanted to find out if Hayden Hackney was training or not. Differing reports as to his fitness, agreed that someone would be identified to go to Middlesbrough's training ground. Junior analyst intern was again identified as the person who should make the trip, despite saying he didn't want to carry out the mission. Junior analyst intern said he felt under extreme pressure because of the context of the importance of the match for the club. Feared he might be dismissed or it might otherwise adversely affect his career if he didn't do what was asked of him. And how do you think it perhaps might have adversely affected your career now? Felt he'd been criticized for the information he provided about Oxford. Southampton lost that match 2-1. Junior analyst intern is quoted as telling a colleague, quote, with them all telling me they want more out of it than what I got at Oxford as got it wrong, etc. They clearly don't think my word is good enough, so wallop. There's your footage. Southampton's ops manager booked flights and 2 nights accommodations. Junior analyst intern shown drone footage of the Middlesbrough training facility so he could get an idea of where to stand. Flew up on Wednesday. Eckert was apparently unhappy he didn't fly up on Tuesday so he could see the Wednesday training session. 3 videos recorded from his phone behind a tree. 4 people at the training ground began walking toward the junior analyst intern, sent the videos he'd gathered to another analyst, subsequently passed the information to Eckert, including the projected lineup. When one of the 4 men caught up with him, the intern said he was just watching and was asked to delete the videos, which he did. Then walked on to a nearby golf clubhouse where he changed and deleted his LinkedIn profile because he's worried Middlesbrough would recognize him from that. Intern goes back to his hotel, awaited permission to return home. When this didn't come, he left of his own accord, caught a train. While he was on the train, he learned from news and the internet Southampton had been caught spying on Middlesbrough. Analysts suggested Southampton media team should be asked to take down or hide the manager of the month pictures online because the junior analyst intern featured in the background. Analyst said the only way they can put his face from CCTV with Southampton is he's deleted his LinkedIn picture. Just got to hope they won't put the two together. Johnson continues. Tonda Eckert asked whether he wished to see the videos, and he said he did. Eckert claimed the videos were of poor quality, taken from a far distance, and it was difficult to work out who was who, and so they were of no benefit to him. League arbitration panel publicly said on May the 8th, club admitted that a member of the staff was in Middlesbrough. They claimed it was a very junior member of the analysis department, not instructed by any members of senior club staff. Southampton added, no footage was captured, transmitted, shared, or analyzed. That senior executives and first-team manager have not endorsed this. This proved to be untrue when the EFL requested all relevant emails, messages, and telephone calls between members of the analysis team, relevant bank and credit card statements for the junior analyst, intern, and the club. This is what we call discovery phase. You didn't think that was going to happen, apparently. May the 12th, the club apologized for the inaccuracies and admitted that the trip was, as the panel report describes, carried out at the request of Mr. Eckert. 3 videos had been sent, and there had been discussions with the head coach on WhatsApp about the content. May 17, charged with spying on Oxford and Ipswich, and unsuccessfully tried to prevent those from being consolidated into the same hearing. Southampton, by the way, lost to Oxford, drew with Ipswich and Middlesbrough. So you got 2 points in 3 matches from all of your alleged spying. Lord Panic, representing Southampton, proposed that if no sporting advantage had been obtained because the Saints did not win, then it would be inappropriate and disproportionate to impose any sporting sanctions. So basically, yeah, we did it, but it didn't help. We didn't get much out of it, so we shouldn't be punished. So because the team was inept, yeah, we did it, but they were inept in the application of the information, then we shouldn't be punished. So that was what the lawyer was saying, Lord Panic. P-A-N-N-I-C-K, not P-A-N-I-C. The panel rejected the idea because, quote, information from the observations had been passed to the senior coaching team at the club and it had been used in preparation for those matches. While the commission accepted the club's remorse, mitigation tempered by the initial misleading response to the Middlesbrough allegations. Panel was also unimpressed, in quotation marks, by some of the club's witnesses, including the head coach, Tonda Eckert, who said they were unaware spying was against the regulations when it was clear the opposite was true. It's like you're not supposed to be anywhere within 72 hours, and they were there in 48. Southampton once again went to the Derby County, the Leeds incident in 2019 with Bielsa. Said that's what needs to be done to us, a £200,000 fine. Commission was sensitive to the importance of the playoffs, potential financial value of the knockouts. Statement released on Monday, Southampton said they would, quote, reflect carefully on the published reasons, review its internal processes, and ensure that governance, oversight, and decision-making procedures are strengthened as a result. Southampton added, quote, We accept the club breached the relevant regulations. We recognize that the disciplinary bodies were entitled to conclude that proof of sporting advantage was not necessary in order to establish a serious offense. It's like, yeah, okay. Club also criticized the composition of the commission, saying what's harder to accept is that similar scrutiny does not appear to have been applied to the composition of the disciplinary panel itself, given the apparent historic and indirect connections of 2 panel members to Middlesbrough. So the panel's over, and Southampton's like, well, the panel had ties to Middlesbrough. Of course they're going to vote the way they did. David Winnie, head of sport at Gilson Gray, played 1 game on loan at Middlesbrough in 94. Winnie denied any questions about his impartiality. Another panelist, Lydia Banerjee, works for Littleton Chambers, which in 2018 was contracted for legal work by Middlesbrough. No word on when Lydia Banerjee started working for Littleton Chambers. Let's take a peek at that. Not that it's going to change any decisions one way or the other, nor should it. So, Lydia Banerjee. So, if we do a Lydia Banerjee search, Littleton Chambers, so let's see, Chambers and Partners. Let's see, Suburban Sports, 24. She is well thought of. Director of Company Secretary for over 15 years. So that takes us back to 11. So would she be within the window? Yeah, she'd be within the window. So, but contracted legal work by Middlesbrough. No word on how long Middlesbrough was attached to Littleton Chambers in the first place. So that was where. So Southampton was mad. 2 had ties. One because her firm did work for Southampton 8 years ago. And then, or for Middlesbrough 8 years ago. And then one guy had 1 match on loan. And then that forced them to sit there and point, and Southampton go, see. That they're not being partial, point. Didn't quite work that way. And so I imagine that kind of fell on the deaf ears of the whole thing. So let's see if Ben Jacobs has anything else that is attached to the notion that we've checked at. Let's see, Morgan Rogers and Arsenal, Mateus Fernandez and West Ham. Chelsea rejected approaches for Josh Achiampong. Conceição has departed Al Ittihad. Katie McCabe has joined Chelsea on a free from Arsenal. I don't see. Okay, and then the club's mad. Southampton is basically mad, and they're going to look at themselves. And I still don't know how Tonda Eckert is still employed, but we'll find out. Talks between Andoni Iraola and Liverpool, by the way, already underway, expected to move quickly. So Iraola goes from one place to the next, and like 16 different clubs were interested. But it looks like Liverpool's gone to the front of the line. Brentford triggered contract extensions for Josh Da Silva, Rico Henry, Matthias Jensen, keeping them in the club until next summer. Marco Silva now close to joining Benfica after a positive meeting with Rui Costa. Inigo Perez is now Villarreal's new manager on a 3-year contract. Crystal Palace exploring a move for Lens manager Pierre Sage, one of a handful of names. And the Sage conversations apparently are moving very, very quickly today. So we'll see if that happens with them going forward. So Arsenal, Morgan Rogers, West Ham, Mateus Fernandez, 38 plus 4. So they're looking at something in the 85 million range. Manchester United and Arsenal both considering a move, holding a lower valuation. PSG have him on their radar as well. Fernandez does not have a relegation release clause expected to be sold. West Ham need to bring in over £100 million in sales so they can keep an eye on the PSR. So that's kind of where we are with soccer over there. All right. Daily Record Sport. Looks like Michael Keane and Celtic had meetings. So there is a possibility that you could have Michael Keane as the next daily record, John, not daily report, daily record, daily record sport is the word you're looking for. So Michael Keane had meetings along with a couple of other folks. So it looks like Keane would be the front runner in the next manager fight Keane's in the next Celtic manager fight with Martin O'Neill as Dermot Desmond talks are scheduled, is how it's phrased by the Daily Record. And Ross Pilcher, straight fight with Martin O'Neill to become Celtic's next manager. Former Ferencváros manager quit at the end of the season, fueling speculation he was set to return to Parkhead as boss. 6 months on loan in Glasgow from Liverpool back in 2010. Won the title during his 16th-month stint in Hungary, which included a Europa win over Rangers. Keane wants Scott Brown as a part of his backroom team, which also means that probably Stephen Glass would be a part of that backroom squad. So you could have Scott Brown and Keane and Glassy as that staff. That could be the staff. Nothing like opening up an Expedia window. So Robbie Keane, Martin O'Neill, looks like it's a match race for those two. And the possibility that you could have Keane, Scott Brown, and Stephen Glass as the staff if they win the battle with Dermot Desmond, the largest stakeholder, and they don't retain Martin O'Neill, and Martin O'Neill goes back to being retired. So Robbie Keane pitched the backroom team, including the former Aberdeen boss, so Scott Burns with the follow-up. And so he's trying to get the job before Martin O'Neill is considered. So does Martin O'Neill stay for another season? And so Stephen Glass, Scott Brown, Johnny Hayes. That's what the Daily Record is saying. So that's what it would look like as they all left Ferencváros. The irony is inescapable in that regard. So that is the latest. And so we'll save Paul Quinn for the morning and all of his work at the ESK as he continues to do his work with John Texter and with Michelle Kang and with Aries and how they're all intertwined. He's got a new release out, and so we'll go over that in the morning. So Southampton is mad. They accept the fine. We're going to look at ourselves internally, and we're going to work on ourselves. Then there's also news out of the USL, where the USL has, as a part of their sanctioning body, they have made a point to go and add a handful of names for next season. So tomorrow should be the return of Casey White. She buried the lead. She did not mention that she was going to be coaching the USA squad on the women's side and finished runners-up. They had a 1-0 lead, lost 2-1 in the championship game. And so Casey White was head coach of that squad at TST. And so she was getting interviewed as a coach on the sidelines by sideline reporters and stuff. So should be the return of KCD tomorrow. She might be completely and totally wiped out, might want to beg off for another week. We'll find out. But it will be interesting the next time that we catch up with her because of everything that she's done in the last month, basically. Coached the USA Women's 7v7 team at TST and has been jumping back and forth with Open Cup and with NWSL and with MLS. All of those things is what have been going on with KCD in the last handful of weeks. So tomorrow should be the return of KCD where you be. And I think she'd be at home, actually. And so at Commonwealth Stadium, Canada and Uzbekistan about ready to get underway. So we'll keep an eye on that. And so tomorrow, Paul Quinn, KCD. I believe we're going to have some of the Jason Longshore interview with Josie Altidore, Simon Evans in the USL, and everything getting ready for Tuesday in your international planning as you get ready for what's going on in 10 days from now. Hour number 2 means one thing and one thing only here. And once again, our goal is to be out of here in the next 50 minutes because of wanting you to tune over to Atlanta Soccer Tonight, 92.9 The Game, Odyssey app. It's also on the YouTube channel for the entire run, which lends itself into stoppage time, the full three-dimensional experience involving Atlanta Soccer Tonight and stoppage time for the next 2 months. So your day is going to be like this. It's going to be us in the morning. Then you're going to have Jason with Atlanta Soccer Tonight at night. Then it's going to be stoppage time. So it's going to be us in the morning setting the table from what happened in the overnight. Then we're setting the table for your day. Jason will be ready at night. Atlanta Soccer Tonight, stoppage time, combination, 92.9 The Game, YouTube channel as well, Odyssey app, all the things. Starting the 13th, we are going to have SDH AM Weekend Edition. We're going as well. Depending on when matches are and when we have to leave the studio here to go to the Benz, that'll depend. That'll let you know how long the morning show is going to be whenever there are matches locally here in the Atlanta area. So SDH AM Weekend Edition, starting the 13th, will be an hour, maybe more, maybe an early start. So this is key for all of the programming that we're going to have here, whether it's here on the SDH network, whether it's with Jason, 92.9 The Game, YouTube, Odyssey app, Off the Woodwork, all of that. Just set your notifications because it's going to be kind of grabbing a comet by the tail for the next 2 months. So we're going to be up and around all over the place. It's just set your notifications so you can keep up to date with where we are. Also, you can subscribe if you haven't yet. Go to the Get the Morning Espresso newsletter. You go to soccerdownhere.net. You scroll down. There's a box. Subscribe to Espresso. Hit your email address. Send. You get the Morning Espresso newsletter. So with the newsletter, with SDHAM, with Jason Nightside, and we are going to have some special live appearances with SDH Nightside as well. I've got a calendar somewhere that has kind of the early run of them. So we'll let you know where we are. But just set your notifications for SDH. Follow us on all of our socials. For Jason, 92.9 The Game, Atlanta Soccer Tonight, Stoppage Time, Maddie, Nick, Jarrett, all of us. Just set your notifications at Soccer Down Here, all social media, 92.9 The Game, and Jason and Maddie and all of us. So just that way you know where we are. And we'll keep telling you, but just day-to-day things might change a little bit just to keep you posted. So that's where we are. Okay. All right. So Hutch has done the math, or Hutch has the math. I had planned, I thought we were going to do one more week of picks of the week to get us into where we are. And that would be the end of the end of the Apertura. So thank you, Hutch, for doing the math, by the way. So I'm doing one more week. I thought I was doing one more week, and 4Card might be just trying to convince me to stop with the champ. So we're doing one more week. And, so we're doing the one more week. And we also get to hear from Josie Altador tomorrow on the morning show. We're doing one more week, and then we turn it over into the Medio. We turn it over into the Medio, and then that way it's all in one place and tiebreakers and such. But Hutch has a lead of 1,006 from first to second. Second to third is 343. Third to fourth is 1,332. And then fourth to fifth is a margin of 4,000. Anthems are going. It is very, very wet at Commonwealth Stadium in Edmonton, by the way, as they get ready for kickoff. So let's go back over last week, and it's going to be kind of scattershot in trying to find the matches and the matchups and things like that. So 4Card is first, Hutch is second. Okay. So it is up to Hutch. Ricky's third. Thank you, Hutch, for doing this, by the way. All right. So we might be diving into friendlies and aperturas and Argentina and things like that. Okay. Speaking of Argentina, and like I said, I'm going to be doing this kind of scattershot. So when I see a league, I'm going to click on it. And then I'm going to look at the results. And so the results last week, Matchup number 6 involving Almirante Brown. We could not resist our buddy Almirante Brown. We could not resist that. It was a 1-1 draw with Colón Santa Fe. I picked Almirante Brown on premise. Like I said, 1-1 draw, so obviously I lost that one. So it was a draw in the Argentina Primera Nacional with Almirante Brown and Colón Santa Fe. All right, Armenia. The Armenian Premier League. I'm going to have to go to SofaScore for this one because it's not listed in Odds Portal with Ararat Yerevan and BKMA. Don't mess with the military, basically was what we found out. Don't mess with the military in that one. So Armenian Premier League last week, Ararat Yerevan and BKMA. I had said it was going to be a draw. And it was. It was a 1-1 draw. So huzzahs and hoorays for me. So it was a draw to plus 225. Wow, good work. All right. So then, PSG and Arsenal. We know what happened there. It went to PKs. So I did not win that one, but PSG won in PKs. So for those of you that had the 90-minute draw, congratulations to you. So I lost number 7 also. So Brazil, Serie A. That's BBC, John, not Brazil. All right, so Brazil's Serie A, the Serie A Betano. Last week, matchup number 5 was Remo and Sao Paulo. No odds available. It's results. It's not. It's results. It's not standings. Stop it. All right. So Remo and Sao Paulo. Sao Paulo lost to Remo 1-0. So that put Sao Paulo in 8th in the qualifiers to try and work their way up the ladder. They lost 3 of 4, by the way, Sao Paulo. So Sao Paulo lost to Remo. So if you picked Remo, it was a plus 200. So good on you there. So I've lost 3 of the first 4 we found. All right. So Chinese Super League in China, which has really done nothing for me. So it was Liaoning. Liaoning, and it was Liaoning Tianjin and Shanghai Port. And so, of course, I said it was going to be a draw, and Liaoning Tianjin at a plus 114. They won. We had them at a plus 140, so lost that one too. So it was a 3-2 win for Liaoning Tianjin, and that didn't help me either. So I am just hemorrhaging everything here this week. No surprise. So I'm coming back to the main. Come back to the mean, sorry. So Finland, Veikkausliiga, Lahti and Ilves. Lahti and Ilves. Let's see, where are we here? Come on now. Mikkeli. It's in the Veikkausliiga. That's where I thought I was. Haka, Jippo, KTP, and Akademia. Klubi had a busy match week. So wait a second. Did I pick the wrong freaking league? It's the Veikkausliiga, not the Ikosliiga. That's my problem. Okay. So all right. I was like, wait a minute. So Finland in the Veikkausliiga. If I could spell Finland. The Veikkausliiga in Finland. Yeah, Almirante Brown let OG down. Yeah, I'm right there with you, OG. I probably would be last. So, Lahti and wow. Did not have this one. Lahti wiped the floor with Ilves. 5-0 Lahti over Ilves. Lahti was favored at a plus 150. I said draw. I lost. Did not have Lahti putting 5 on the board against Ilves. Did not have that one. That took me out back. Okay, so now Norway and the Eliteserien. So Norway, Eliteserien, where you're going YMCA basically. That's what KFUM is. They're not like a low power radio station on the FM dial. KFUM Oslo and Tromsø. And so of course they drew. Give me a break. Unbelievable. So Tromsø was a prohibitive favorite on the road against KFUM Oslo. And if you had the draw to plus 240, you did great. I had Tromsø, therefore I lost. at a plus 138. So literally, I have one win and I've lost the next 6. And so then that means we go to USL Championship to wrap things up. And in USL Championship, Phoenix and Sacramento. I think Sacramento lost. I think Phoenix won this one at home. So I think I would have gone. I think I went 1-7. Did I go 1-7? I did. I went 1-7. Phoenix won 2-0. I said draw. I lost. So I literally went 1-7. So I finished at a minus 475. A minus 475. One table for World Cup. Yeah, I mean it's all of the numbers in the Medio. It's like after next week when we determine if Four-Card can hang on to his lead. After that, Medio is straight up World Cup. It is World Cup and World Cup only, and it is its own animal. The Medio is World Cup and World Cup only. That is how I'm viewing this. One more week. Four-Card sitting there saying champ is here, and he's giving me the willies, thinking I was going to cut things a week short when I wasn't. All right, so Four-Card has a lead of 1,006 over Hutch, and so it's up to Hutch to figure out Final Jeopardy. What does Hutch do, and what does Four-Card do? Ricky's in third, and so right now, battle of Four-Card and Hutch. That is what it's going to look like here in the Apertura. So let's Apertura, shall we? All right. So I went. The tiebreaker, 26. So 26 goals. So 4, 6, 11, 16, 17, 18, 20, 22, 24. 24. I said 26 and it was 24, so I wasn't too bad, but I was still over. So I wasn't too bad. Okay. Uzbekistan and Canada are now underway. Uzbekistan is in their road whites. Canada is in their home red tops, red shorts, red socks. Uzbekistan in their dress whites on the road. And we have no score bug. Okay, so we have no score bug here on a wet night in Edmonton. All right, so we're going to come up with 8 matchups and a tiebreaker one last time. This is the last week of the Apertura. Making the announcement now, last week of the Apertura. And so we're going to put 8 matches on the board. We'll see what kind of trouble we can get into here for one last time. All right. So obviously, we have to check the Uzbekistan Super League, and that's right, they're done. That's correct. They are done. So, well, no, wait. When's? Oh yeah, July 15th. So they are taking the World Cup break off as well. All right. So we got to find stuff on our own. And I was legitimately thinking for one of these, when can we do this? Oh, what? That's League 2. That's not League 1. Okay. So, all right. So we're going to try and come up with some stuff here, see how much trouble we can get into, and not try and pick the same leagues over and over again. Okay. So we can't pick that league. Queensland Premier's not helping me out with any kind of odds. Neither is NPL Queensland with the Wynnum Wolves, who have ties to the Solomon Kings. Here we go. They are now heading into the 5th minute. Canada and Uzbekistan are goalless at Commonwealth Stadium in Edmonton. So the Wynnum Wolves and the schedule on the whip around. So you're not helping me. You're not helping me out. Or you're not helping me out, Australia. You're really not. June 7? Okay, so that would be Sunday. So let me get the days together here. So it would be Tuesday is the 2nd, Wednesday's the 3rd, Thursday's the 4th, Friday is 6-5, Saturday is 6-6, and Sunday is 6-7. So we'll keep an eye on those because we do have Copa Argentina, but the margins are too big, and I don't want to go there. So, like I said, if I find one, we'll look at the day, and then we'll get it all squared away. So big margins involving Bolivia, so we're not going there. And I'm like literally trying to find stuff in the margins. Okay, so here we go. No, that's in 2 weeks. I can't do that because that's like next week. So it might not be just no, I've got to stick to that. I have to and come up with props. I have to think things through. So I was going to say we got leagues playing while we have World Cup going on, so I might end up mixing it for tiebreakers and such. Okay, July 1st. Good Lord, people! Last match for the Liga Pro out of Ecuador is tonight. And let's see, now we were in Finland last week, so I don't think we're going to go Finland here. But yeah, of course, I will take if any of you guys have anything that you have seen that you wish to dive into from a league perspective, we could do that too. No, that's the 12th. Damn it. Okay, so it's like I'm finding a lot of stuff that's going on. It might be just international friendlies that we dive into to work our way through this. June 6th. Let's see. This is promising. It's promising, but it ain't all that big. But we'll go here for one of them. Okay, so Saturday, June 6th, 2 o'clock in the morning, local time. We're going to go to the placement playoffs in Japan's J League. The J1, and he chipped the keeper and he just missed. Opportunity there for Uzbekistan. That didn't miss by much. And Maxime Crépeau, man, if that had happened to Maxime Crépeau again, breakaway for Uzbekistan, gets around the defender and tried to chip Crépeau and he pulled it. Chance was there for Uzbekistan and they missed. So Mito and V. Varen Nagasaki. And this is placement playoffs. Mito is a plus 140. And like I said, I'll go over all of these in a row when I finally have them orchestrated. But I'll tell you who I'm picking and what it looks like. So Mito and V. Varen Nagasaki in the placement playoffs as they're trying to determine what the future is going to look like in the league. So it is the second leg in the placement playoffs, apparently. And it is going to be on the 6th. Placement playoffs, Mito and V. Varen Nagasaki. So we'll keep an eye on that one. So that's June 6th. That is J League. And I'm going to go with Mito just because I have no idea, and they're favored, and they're at home. So we'll do that. All right, so Japan is one of the matchups. And let's see. Wow, okay. Could we go here? We get numbers? Do we get decent numbers, or do we have stuff that is different? Yeah. Okay, so we'll go here also. So K-League 2 in South Korea. I'm going to have some learning to do before 10 o'clock. 6:30 in the morning on Saturday. So 6:30 on 6/6. It's Jeonnam and Yongin. Jeonnam and Yongin. Jeonnam is a plus 125. Draws a plus 225. Yongin is a plus 190. So your standings in K-League 2, Jeonnam and Yongin. Jeonnam is in 11th place through 13 match weeks at 4-3-6. They have hit each column once in their last 3, although they had a 3-match unbeaten streak that was snapped last time out with a loss. And Yongin is at 12 points. They have drawn their last 3. They're behind them by 3 points in the table. And Man, just drawing their last 3. So both teams are on the minus side in goal difference, both scoring about a goal a match. Jeonnam's defense is a little worse, but Jeonnam is going to be at home after losing last time out 2-0 to Hwasong, and Hwasong is 4th in the table and unbeaten in their last 5. So it's probably no great shake that Jeonnam lost to Yeongsam last time out. So Jeonnam, 11th in the table at 15 points. Yonggin, 13th in the table, 3 points behind. They've drawn their last 3. And this one is at Yeonnam. So Yeonnam is favored, and I'm going to go with Yeonnam. SofaScore has Uzbekistan games on 6-4, no odds. Okay, that's interesting. Oh, are they like friendlies, OG, or Hutch? Okay, we'll do that one on Sunday. I like that one with Las Palmas and Malaga. So I might see if we'll see what the numbers are. But SofaScore's got an Uzbekistan game on 6-4. What is going on 6-4? Is it a national team game? Because the Super League is not up and running until July 15th. Yeah, the next match they don't have is until July 15th. So is it an Uzbekistan national friendly? So what is going on in Uzbekistan on the 4th? Huh. Okay. So friendly. Upcoming. They have a match against the Netherlands on the 8th. But yeah, CONMEBOL Nations League Women on Friday. Oh, okay, that's good. I like that. It's Friday because we haven't had CONMEBOL yet either. Okay, so Spain. I think this is where we go to the promotion playoffs. Okay, so let's do that. So on the 7th, I like that. So La Liga 2, the promotion playoffs, 3:00 in the afternoon, Sunday on the 7th. So once again, 1,500 hours on the 7th. It is Las Palmas hosting Malaga. Las Palmas is even money plus 100, and I'm using odds portals numbers. So Las Palmas has had money. Money's gone to, well, Malaga hasn't changed, but the draw has. So Las Palmas and Malaga, draws a plus 235. Malaga is a plus 290. I like the draw here just because I think Malaga is going to want to try to get it done at home. So I'll go Malaga. Sunday at 3:00. I like that one. Okay. Pro League, 2nd division. Okay, so that would be why. Wow, that's really, man, OG, you're really finding the Uzbek matchups. We might try and find some international friendlies. The Persha Liga that's got to be the end of their season. Yeah, that's got to be the end of their season. So much for that idea. Let's see. Okay, so do we have anything that's listed like South America or something? So let me go back into the Primera, and we'll see if we can find something in here. Yeah, we got Sunday in there. Okay, so let's do also on Sunday. But like I said, I'm going to rearrange. I'm going to put them back in order when we're done. But right now I'm just trying to find matchups because once again, be heading over to 92.9 The Game and Odyssey app, 92.9 YouTube, top of the hour. Goal is 14th minute, Canada and Uzbekistan. Keeping an eye on that. We'll have highlights tomorrow and sound tomorrow from Jesse Marsh and Fabio Cannavaro. Also, so 2:00. 2:00 Sunday afternoon, and it'll be, as much as I'd love to have it be Deportivo Morón and Almirante Brown, I should have waited a week. Primera Nacional in Argentina. Primera Nacional in Argentina. We're going to the next matchup. San Telmo and Deportivo Madryn. Boy, are we going to have some learning to do this week. San Telmo and Deportivo Madryn. San Telmo is a plus 160, draws a plus 185. Deportivo Madryn is a plus 179. Looking at the standings, it is San Telmo and Deportivo Madryn, these two. Deportivo Morón is first. Deportivo Madryn is in sixth at 6-5-4 through 15 match weeks, 23 points. Unbeaten in their last two, unbeaten in 3 of 4. Almirante Brown, 5s across the board, 5-5-5 through 15. Not scoring and not giving up goals. But then you have San Telmo, who is lost 2 in a row, at home, favored to Deportivo Madryn. Deportivo Madryn is 8 points better, and they've won they're unbeaten in 3 of 4, but like I said, they've hit each column once in their last 3. Loss, win, draw. Madryn on the road is an underdog. So we're going to go with Deportivo Madryn. We're going to go with Deportivo Madryn here. There we go. Who's that? Rowdy, who is that? Who is that? We woke you up, didn't we? Who is that? He was very asleep. So little man was very asleep. Mommy came home. So that's all that matters. All right. So we got 4 matchups. And so now, CONMEBOL Nations League Women. I got to find that. All right. So we've got Las Palmas. And we got that one in. So CONMEBOL Nations League Women on Friday. I want to try and find stuff that's not on the weekend. So friendlies. Let's see if we can find some friendlies that are close by. Let's see. Yeah, let's go there. Tomorrow, high noon. So tomorrow at high noon, this will obviously be number 1. So it's an international friendly. Croatia and Belgium. Croatia and Belgium, international friendly. Tomorrow at noon. So 6-2, noon. Croatia is a plus 160. Draws a plus 250. Belgium is a plus 165. Now, let's find out where this matchup is, first and foremost. So Belgium and Croatia in a friendly tomorrow at the Stadion HNK Rijeka Din Shulak. So you have these two heavyweights going at it. Radio Brenovic is the man in the middle. Zlatko Dalic and Rudy Garcia. No Trossard, no De Bost, and Romelu Lukaku is doubtful for Belgium. Croatia, no injuries are listed. Probable starting 11s. Livakovic in net. Vardiol, Vuskovic, and Šutalo. Midfield, Perisic, Sucic, Modric, and Stanisic. Attacking midfielders, Baturina and Kramaric, and Budimir is your striker. For Belgium, it's anticipated. Like I said, this is just thinking thin air. Courtois in net, De Kuyper, Ngoy, De Winter, and Castagna. 2 6s, Witsel and Tielemans. Luka Bacchio, De Bruyne, and Doku, and De Ketelaere is your striker. With those numbers, I like Belgium. I like Belgium in this one. Of course, watch it be just a completely and totally unwatchable draw. So first match tomorrow, high noon, Croatia, Belgium. Croatia plus 160, draws plus 250. Belgium is a plus 165. So we'll keep an eye on that one. Now, also on the friendly train, trying to see if there is one that's manageable. A lot of wide margins here. There are a lot of wide margins. And that's disappointing. It's very disappointing. So if we keep working. All right, so let's go Thursday. We'll go with another one. So Thursday, another friendly. 1 o'clock in the afternoon. We're going Sweden and Greece. Sweden and Greece, 1 o'clock, Thursday afternoon. Sweden's a plus 104. Draws a plus 245. Greece is a plus 250. So now let's find out where this matchup could happen. Where the matchup is going to happen, we'll find out what the lineups could be. Sweden and Greece. International friendly. Hit me. 6-4. Here we go. Okay, and this is in Strawberry Arena. And Graham Potter versus Ivan Jovanovic. No Starfelt, no Holm, no Goodmanson, no Stroud for Sweden. For Greece, no Tete, no Karetsas, and no Tsimikas, who is out with a virus. So Greece, no Tsimikas, and Sweden is favored at home at a plus 104. Draws a plus 245, and Greece is a plus 250. So that's what you're looking at in Solna City in Sweden at Strawberry Arena Stadium, part of the international friendlies. So it's in Solna City, Sweden, big favorite, and I'm not gonna mince any words here. I'm going Sweden. All right, so that leaves us with 2 more slots and a tiebreaker, and I know what the tiebreaker is going to be. So CONMEBOL. So OG found CONMEBOL. So CONMEBOL Nations League. CONMEBOL Libertadores Sudamericana. And CONMEBOL Nations League Women. Okay, so it's loading. Right now through the match week 7 has started, Venezuela and Chile. So you've got matchups on Friday, and Colombia is taking on Uruguay, so that's 2 versus 8. Argentina and Peru, which is 1 versus 7. Bolivia and Paraguay, which is 6 versus 9. And Chile and Ecuador, 4 versus 5. That's the one that we're going to take. So Chile and Ecuador on CONMEBOL women's activity on the 5th, so Friday night at 7 o'clock. So that's 1900 hours. So 6-5. So Chile and Ecuador is the match that we're going to have in match week 7. So for Chile, it's actually match week 8. They'll be in the barn faster than Venezuela. So Chile and Ecuador. Chile through 7 matches is 3-1-3. They've lost 3 of 4. Actually, they've lost 2 of 3. Sorry, I'm looking at it the wrong way. So they lost to Argentina 1-0 on the 10th of April. Then they lost to Colombia 2-0 on the 14th. And now they're back at it after beating Uruguay 3-1 on April 18th. And so this is that cycle as you're getting to 16. You're getting to the halfway point in qualifiers. So Chile snapped a 2-match losing streak last time out, April 18th, in a 3-1 win against Uruguay. And then Ecuador, below them in the standings by 2 points, but they've also played 1 less match. Ecuador is 2-2-2. They snapped a 4-match winless streak last time out. With a 1-0 win over Peru. So Ecuador, 1 last time out after losing to Paraguay, drawing Uruguay, drawing Ecuador, and losing to Colombia. So drawing to Venezuela. So the last 4 matches, it has been 2 losses and 2 draws, but Ecuador has only scored 1 goal in their last 4 matches before beating Peru 1-0 on April 18th. So in their last 5 matches where they are 1-2-2, they've only scored 2 goals. Not giving up any goals, but they're just not scoring them either. So Chile and Ecuador. So let's see if we have any juice boxes attached to this one, which is 4 days away. And with this one being played at the Nacional Julio Martinez Pradanos, the answer is no. So it's plus 100s across the board. And it is in Santiago, Chile. So it is in Chile. Ecuador is not scoring, but it's plus 100s across the board. So I'm going to go with Chile here. And that's match number 7. So match number 8. We got to come up with something match number 8-ish. And I've got an idea of where I want to go. And it's not that one. So let me look at the schedule and see if anything is posted as of yet. Tampa Bay, 9 points clear. Wow. And it's 8-0-3 to start their season off. Okay, so, and May the 2nd, working our way all the way through. Why am I looking at May when we're in June? It's like you give me the schedule from the absolute beginning. It's like I want June is what I want. So, full run on the weekend is what we've got. So we're going into USL Championship. And we're going to take a look at, because last time we picked Sacramento, it didn't go so well. So let's take a look at the standings, and we will pick up a USL Championship matchup here. I mean, it is, wow, that is crazy. You have 4 teams with 16 points in the Eastern Conference: Pittsburgh, Charleston, Lou City, and Miami. And the Miami FC, by the way, is 4-4-4. Michael Parkhurst's Rhode Island FC, 3-4-3. And they're at 12 points, 2 points out of the playoff picture. So let's take a peek at the schedule and come up with something Eastern Conference-y. Ooh, we might actually have one here. So, yeah, let's do that one. All right, so USL Championship, Saturday night, 7 o'clock, Patriots Point. Charleston hosting Pittsburgh. So Charleston and Pittsburgh. And let me see if we have anything resembling juice boxes. Canada and Uzbekistan still goalless, 28th minute, and it looks like the ref has called did he call a goal kick? Or yeah, it looks like he called a goal kick. Maxime Crépeau came out to challenge outside the edge of the 6. And the ball goes out over the end line. So ball went out over the end line as Crépeau was trying to challenge and win the ball away. Unless, of course, man in the middle changed his mind because he pointed. It looked like he pointed. Okay, so it was all looks like it was foul anyway, closer inside the edge of the 18. So 28th minute, no score, Canada and Uzbekistan. So, the 8th matchup is going to be Charleston and Pittsburgh, and I'm waiting for a minute to try and see if I can get juice boxes to pop up in this one. And fine. No, it's not what I want. Not what I want. All right, so if we go here, and if we go here, how do you not? See, this is just disappointing. If you're trying a certain juice box purveyor that has something to do every day of the year, and you want to try and use their particular service, you can't because they don't do it. All right, so USL Championship. Right now, it looks like the only one that has any kind of a decision on it has to do with what are you people doing here? Upcoming. Goodness gracious. All right, so June 3rd, June 10th. What? No, June 6th. Oh, that's the Prinks Cup. That's what it is. Okay, so that's why I'm not being able to see anything, because it's a Prinks Cup weekend. I was wondering what's going on. Wow. Okay, so there's a league match going on, Eastern Conference, Birmingham and Lou City. I'm not touching that one. So then you end up with Prinks Cup. Let me see if it does this. Yep, USL Prinks Tires Cup. Okay, so it actually does give that as an indicator. So this weekend, Prinks Cup upcoming, and it is not listed. How's Charleston and are you just not listed yet? Okay, anyway. All right, so this is confusing the hell out of me. Saturday, June 6th, 7 o'clock, Patriots Point, Charleston and Pittsburgh. Anyway, that's matchup number 8, hundreds across the board because I can't find anything, and I'm going to go with Charleston and Dell will be happy. All right, so now tiebreaker. Number 8, tiebreaker in this one. USA, Germany. How many fouls are going to be called? Considering the number of fouls that were called against the United States in the matchup against Senegal, how many total fouls? USA, Germany. I'm going to go with 22. All right, so 32 minutes in, or into the 32nd minute, Canada trying to work in transition. Nicely defended, but sticking with the play is Canada, edge of the 18. Far post, just past everybody, goal kick. All right, so here's your matchups. One last time into the breach. This will end the Apertura as we know it. Matchup 1, international friendly, tomorrow, noon, Croatia, Belgium. Croatia's a plus 160. Draws a plus 250. Belgium is a plus 165. I pick Belgium. Then on Thursday, matchup number 2 is another friendly, Sweden and Greece. Sweden a plus 104. Draws a plus 245. Greece is a plus 250. No Shimikash for Greece. I pick Sweden. Still, I'm getting 4 on the margin. Third matchup, Friday, CONMEBOL Women's. Thank you, OG. Chile and Ecuador. It is 5 versus 6 or 4 versus 5, one of the two. Hundreds across the board, but I'm picking Chile because Ecuador can't score, and Chile has scored slightly more. Now, the fourth one is going to be in the placement playoffs in Japan, 2 o'clock Saturday morning. J1, Mito versus Vivera Nagasaki. Mito is a plus 140, draws a plus 225. Vivera Nagasaki is a plus 200. I picked Mito at home. Why is Vivera Nagasaki? Vivera Nagasaki. So let's find out. Let's learn together. So Vivera Nagasaki. Decent logo. Founded in 2004, played at the Peace Stadium connected by SoftBank in Nagasaki that seats 20,000. JapanNet Holdings is the owner. Established in 1985 as Ariake SC until they merged with Kunimi FC in 2004. Led to adopt the new name Vivera Nagasaki, which has been used ever since. Contending for the Kyushu Soccer League Championship, thus a place in the Japan Football League, only won it once in 2008. Then they were in the J League in the first season, in their first season, 2013. They were promoted out of the J League last year by finishing second in J2. So they're up there this year. After facing dire financial difficulties on March 8th, 2017, purchased by JapanNet Holdings, parent company of television shopping giant JapanNet Takata, becoming a fully owned subsidiary, securing promotion to the top tier, publishing plans to build a new football-specific stadium on the former site of Mitsubishi's Nagasaki shipbuilding operations, which opened in 2024. The V in the club's name comes from the Portuguese word vitória, meaning victory, as well as the Dutch word vrede, meaning peace, while varen is the Dutch verb meaning to sail, relating to Nagasaki's heritage as port of call for both Portuguese and Dutch traders during the Sakoku period in the Tokugawa shogunate. Viva and Nagasaki unveiled their new club logo in 2025. So that's why Viva and Nagasaki is Viva and Nagasaki. And I have them losing to Mito in matchup number 4. So matchup number 5 is K-League 2, 6:30 in the morning on Saturday. Yeongnam and Yeongjin. Jeongnam is a plus 125, draws a plus 225. Yeongjin is a plus 190. I picked Yeongnam in K-League 2. Matchup number 6 is the USL Championship matchup from Saturday at 7 o'clock. Charleston Battery, Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Hundreds across the board because no one wants to give any odds on that one yet. And so I picked Charleston. Matchup 7, middle of the afternoon, as suggested by Hutch. La Liga promotion semifinal first leg out of La Liga 2. Las Palmas hosting Malaga on the island. In the Canary Islands. It's a great place to go see a match if you've ever seen the visuals. Las Palmas is a plus 100, and we're using odds portal. Las Palmas is a plus 100, draws a plus 235. Malaga is a plus 290. I'm picking draw. I think Malaga wants to decide leg 2 in their barn and not have it be decided in leg 1 on the Canary Islands. Then, number 8. Argentine Primera Nacional. We revisit them for matchup number 8. 2 o'clock in the afternoon on Sunday. Well, 7 and 8, so 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. So technically, La Liga 2 is the 8th matchup, and Argentine Primera is the 7th. San Telmo and Deportivo Madryn. San Telmo and Deportivo Madryn at 2 o'clock on Sunday afternoon. San Telmo is a plus 160. Draw is a plus 185. Deportivo Madryn is a plus 179. I picked Deportivo Madryn. So why? I would say, why is San Telmo, but I would imagine it's because of the city that they're in. Club Atlético San Telmo. The Candombero, the nickname, Candombero. Founded March 5th of 1904, 122 years ago. They play in the Dock Sud, the Estadio Osvaldo Boleto, with a 2,000 capacity. They are in the Primera Nacional. In 2025, they were 12th of Zona B. Argentine sports club located in the neighborhood of San Telmo, city of Buenos Aires. Most known for the football team currently playing in the Primera, second division. Founded as San Telmo Football Club, March 1904. 1949 was when the squad won their first title, although it was not promoted to the Primera. Inaugurated their own stadium in 1946. First title they won was Primera C, but due to a restructuring of the Argentine league system, the squad did not promote to the upper division. Finished third in Primera B in 75. Qualified for the playoffs, promoted. They would be relegated the next season. Stadium was actually closed in 2006. Violent incidents in a match against Tijeras, which caused the team to play their home matches at Estadio Alfredo Ramos at Comunicaciones. 5 years later, 5.5 years later, 6.5 years later, stadium reopened between them and Almagro. Current roster is all Argentine. Champions of Primera C 4 times. Last time was in 2015. And then Deportivo Madryn. Why are you Deportivo Madryn? Well, I'll tell you. Club Social y Deportivo Madryn. CSDM, it's on their crest. See, now all I can think of is Das Sound Machine. DSM, yeah. Club Social and y Deportivo Madryn. In the Chubut province in Puerto Madryn. Founded May 7th, 1924, 102 years ago. And for football, they played in the Coliseo del Golfo. They are the Orinegro, the black and gold, or Depo sports. Seating 6,000 for football. first in Premier Nacional Zone A. They were first in Nacional Zone A in 2025. Current squad, mostly Argentine. They do have Mauricio Cuero from Colombia on the wing, or he's listed as a forward. Paraguayan Elis Ayala. Colombian Alejandro Gutierrez on defense. Camilo Machado as a forward from Colombia. Everyone else Argentine except for the Uruguayan midfielder Ivo Calleros. 2 players out on loan. 1 in the reserve squad, and so 3 out on loan. So literally, they are the Aurinegro, the black and gold. And so it is the black and gold of Deportivo Madryn going up against San Telmo, CAST, Club Atlético San Telmo. And I'm picking Deportivo Madryn on the road because San Telmo has had a run of bad form as of late. And the stadium is 6,000 for Deportivo Madryn that they won't be playing in. They'll be playing in the 2,000-seater at San Telmo. Tiebreaker once again, number of fouls called in the U.S.-Germany match. So you now have, only 1 pick tomorrow. Only 1 pick tomorrow. So it is Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, 3 on Saturday, 2 on Sunday. Because most of these friendlies are numbers that are so out of whack that, I've tried to pick the closest one I could find. So this is it. Last round of the Apertura, people. The questions are for Four-Card and Hutch. What do you do in Final Jeopardy? I know what I would do. Jason would yell at me. Goalless 42nd minute, Canada-Uzbekistan. But yes, 1 tomorrow, 1 on Thursday, 1 on Friday, 3 on Saturday, 2 on Sunday, tiebreakers, U.S.-Germany fouls. Last week of the Apertura, Medio starts with the World Cup, and we'll pick them. We'll go there, and we'll pick them for you. So it will be an interesting run. So the Medio starts next week. This is the last week of the Apertura. You have your assignments. Once again, 92.9 The Game, Odyssey app, YouTube channel for 92.9. Jason is going to have Atlanta Soccer tonight, first night in about 60 in a row. And we're going to be right there with them. Coming up in about a minute and a half. So your assignment now, as we are out the door. Well, first off, I knew I forgot to do something. Man, I was in such a rush to do this. I was in such a rush to do picks of the week. I forgot to do this. So I back introed it. All right. So about a minute to Jason over at 92.9 The Game and the Odyssey app and the 92.9 The Game YouTube channel. It's going to be Atlanta Soccer tonight for the first hour. You're going to have it on YouTube the entire time. It's going to be posted to the Off the Woodwork podcast section at 929thegame.com, available on the Odyssey app, all the places, all the things. So he's picking up coverage now. He's going to go over USMNT. He's going to go over Champions League probably, and go over all the other stuff that we had with World Cup dates. And the first half winding down in a very, very wet Edmonton, Alberta. Uzbekistan missing on another chance. Big save, Maxime Crépeau, right before the half. And Uzbekistan seems to be navigating the cold, wet conditions at Commonwealth Stadium fairly well. Maxime Crépeau looks absolutely miserable in his short sleeve jersey. So head on over to 92.9 The Game, however you wish to consume it. Audio, YouTube, all the above. Jason's going to have Atlanta Soccer tonight. It's going to go into stoppage time, 3 dimensions for the next 60 days, online, on audio, on YouTube, on social, as are we. Sending it over to him right now. End of the show. That means I get to do this. Head on over and catch up Atlanta Soccer tonight in stoppage time that started maybe 10 seconds ago.